to look at the basic education overall state of readiness for this year's 2023 final year examinations. We now speak to Department Spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga, and he joins us via a video link. Elijah, thank you so much for joining us this evening here on SABC News. You know, when it comes to your state of readiness as the basic education department, is it all systems go?
Good evening, Mbali. Yeah, that's true. It's all systems go. The system is indeed ready because the question papers are at the storage facilities. And as the days approach, we will move them to nodal points where the school principals pick them up each morning for the day's exams. And we are also looking now at the readiness of the candidates themselves, because it is them who must be ready than us. The system has been there for some time. We just tweak here and there to improve in terms of the technical aspects of it. But in terms of the curriculum coverage, revision, and preparedness of the candidates, we do our best to support them.
And when it comes to the matric exams, this year, I mean, we are dealing with something that is quite problematic throughout the country, and that is the problem of load shedding. When it comes to contingency measures for schools who will be facing load shedding during this time, what is the department doing to ensure that, there is no distraction for those matriculants who will be writing the exams while there is load shedding?
Well, load shedding is something that we've learned to deal with. It's been there for the past few years. We have advised our candidates to work around the load shedding schedule that ESCOM makes available to all of us. So that's in regard to their preparation for exams, studying at home. And we say to them, try stay in school and do as much as you can, even when the exams are ongoing, because there's no guarantee that there will be power at home when you need it. But we are glad that in the last few days, the load shedding has improved. We are having power for longer, which bodes well for our exams and the preparedness of it. But in terms of it impacting the exams, we don't experience much challenges in that regard, because we use natural light. For the most part of the exam, it's pen to paper. We don't require electricity. So in terms of the administration of the examination itself, we're not worried. Our concern comes when it's in regard to the preparation for the candidates when they have to study at home. But otherwise, it's something that we've learned to manage in the past few years. So we'll depend on that experience.
And when it comes to that preparation, and specifically zooming into those districts that struggled during last year's examination, when it came to, preparing those learners to go and sit for this year's exams, what has the department done to ensure that you don't see a repetition of the same sort of results, particularly in those districts which are struggling?
Well, immediately after the results are released, we meet with all the district directors and all the school principals. We do an analysis. The Director General will have a series of engagements with them to go through the results. We find out what the issues are, and then we put measures in place to support those provinces. And we make sure that we work with them to use as much of the time that's available for teaching and learning, so that we create additional time for revision. Because we know that the challenge is always curriculum coverage, where learners come across a question paper which has questions with content that they are not familiar with, because they would not have covered that in school. That is the problem. But if they have learned that content and they've done their revision in time and repeatedly so, then they will be in a very good position to improve. So we look into all the factors that would have affected the performance of each school, and we support those schools. You would have seen that there would be camps that we put up in all the provinces to support the learners that are in schools that have been struggling, even those that have done well, for them to be able to sustain their upward trend in terms of their results. We make sure that they go to camps as well, where learners are able to study, being taught by other teachers that they're not used to. that also helps to improve results.
Yes, and I was coming particularly to that because we know with the matric exams, the matric camps are quite synonymous in this country when it comes to preparing for the final examinations. When it comes to, which schools are actually given this tool to ensure that they prepare adequately, what would you say is the thought process here when it comes to picking which schools should be given this necessary tool to help those learners, to attend those camps? And when it comes to attending those camps, what was, when it comes to the attendance of matriculants, their reaction to these camps? Did they make use of these matric camps?
Yeah, they do. In fact, the Director General has been visiting the camps, and the feedback that we get when he does the visits is that they appreciate the time away from home, because some of them, their homes are located in places where there's noise. Some live next to taverns, others live next to other establishments that are really creating a difficult environment for them to learn and study. So when they are away in camps, they're able to spend more time with their teachers, who are able to then delve deeper into the different areas of their content, which is giving them challenges. That is helpful to them, and some of them say, can't we just stay here until the end of exam? So that's the type of appeal that they make to us in conveying the appreciation which they have for the role that the camps play. Some of the schools that do the camps are where there are disruptions. Community protests also have a huge role to play in some schools where you find that schooling is disrupted. But we also know that there are parts of the country as well where there's gangsterism, which also disrupts the normal flow of things in a particular community. So the learners always benefit when we remove them from their normal streets and we take them away from home, where they get to focus on learning and nothing else but learning. Because even at this time, when they're at the camps, you find that they're still learning as well, because there's nothing else to do, so they're able to focus. So that is the whole thought process around this. We've seen the benefits over the years. If you look at the pass rate, it's been increasing. We're seeing more learners now passing. It is because of the additional support that they're getting from the district, from the provinces, and indeed from DBE itself.
And the credibility of the matric exams always come to the fore, Elijah. And not so long ago, we saw that matric, a paper leak. What are you ensuring this year that, we don't see any, exam papers being leaked and, also then causing slow progress on those learners' lives who will be affected?
Yeah, we haven't experienced any exam paper leaks in the last few years, or last 3 years to be specific, because we have tightened our controls at our storage facilities, even at the printing facilities where the question papers are produced. That helps a lot because we have now been able to deal with that part of the problem. What we have now is where some of our teachers, some of our people who are involved in the examination process access these papers and open them prematurely and start working out answers which they share with the candidates before the exam is written to give those learners an advantage. And that usually happens in places where people know that they did not teach. They are afraid that there's going to be a huge failure rate in the schools, in their areas, so they attempt other illegal ways of assisting their learners, and more often than not, they get into trouble and we get them. We talk about it now because we found out about what they were doing. So we punish them. So in terms of us having tightened the system, yes, we've made improvements, but what we need to deal with now is human behavior, where people take chances undermining the system with the hope of getting away with it. But as indicated earlier, we always catch them. So we are saying to them, please don't do it, because you're going to cause huge stress on the learners who would have written the exam, and now having to face the reality of the exam results being withheld by the department pending the investigation. So it's a situation that's undesirable. You don't want to get yourself in something like that. Commit to a clean exam. It was pledge signing today across the country with all our candidates committing to a clean examinations. We hope it will be the same right across. We'll be watching and monitoring from day one on the 30th of October until the end on the 3rd of December.
And Elijah, you've been saying that, we've seen a major increase when it comes to the pass rate. It keeps on increasing every year. As a department, what sort of, a pass rate are you hoping for this class of matrics?
We usually don't put a figure to it. We just say if the results don't go down, as long as they either stay the same or we see an improvement, we'll be happy with that. But we hope that there will be an improvement because we've done the work and we believe that the learners are fully supported and fully prepared. So we are saying with 8 days to go, please just fix those areas that are still giving you challenges, work together in groups, take care of each other, and make sure that your assistants support each other. Come to school every day and make sure that you utilize the presence of your teachers in the school so that you're able to capitalize on the support that is there available to you. If you do that, you increase your chances of passing with many more distinctions that you planned for.
Elijah, thank you so much for your time. That is Basic Education Department Spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga just giving us their insight when it comes to the class of 2023 that will be writing their final exams in just 8 days' time.